breaking out, I'm breaking in. I just can't help this state I'm in. I'm on my way, y'all. So put your shades on, this light's so bright, it's blinding. I'm radiating love, I'm radiating love, I'm radiating love. Breaking free, I'm breaking ground. I can't explain this thing I found. The clouds have moved on. I got my groove on. This pep in my steps infectious. I'm radiating love. I'm radiating love. I'm radiating love. I've been stuck in a rut. I've been shit out of luck. I've been wondering what is up with me. And then I realize it's up to me to decide. I can just be radiating love. I'm radiating love. I'm radiating love. I'm radiating love.
Well, good morning, everyone. You are an irresistible magnet with the power to attract unto yourself everything, absolutely everything you desire. Excuse my voice a little bit. Got a little froggy there as I fix my, there it goes. My handkerchief this morning, and I want to welcome you to our New Thought Spiritual Center Sunday celebration, symposium, workshop, seminar, whatever you want to call it. We do it all in this next hour. We're going to be with you in consciousness and here on the internet and bring forth to you all great things from the New Thought movement to bring into your life what's best, what's you decided, what you have decided is best. If you're new to us, we have 3 statements of principles, and I want to present those to you right now. So watch this. Every month, we highlight one of our statements of principles. And this month, we're highlighting our purpose statement, which is reveal the divinity in you. You know, we're going to do that. Well, you do that every day, but we're going to do that a lot. We're going to talk about that a lot this month. This month's theme is harvesting. October is a big harvesting month. There's harvesting holidays. There's harvesting going on for the fall crops, probably all over the world, but at least in this country. And harvesting what it is we want to manifest is what we're going to talk about this month. And revealing The divinity that is within each and every one of us is that power that allows us, using the creative principle, using the creative power of the universe, to manifest into our lives that which we have decided we are going to do. Like I say, we are an irresistible magnet, you and I, to that which we have declared is going to show up in our experience. So we're going to talk a lot about that. We're going to be discussing the main purpose of life. Maybe not your personal purpose in your life, but the main purpose for us all in our lives is to reveal that creative power that is within each and every one of us. So this morning, we're going to step into some meditation. We don't do it every week, but this week, I think it's important that we do a guided meditation. So those of you online for the next 10 minutes may see all kinds of visuals and hear my voice in the background. And that's what we're doing. We're doing a guided meditation. So we're going to start that video for you. And as we do, I'd like you to stop whatever you're doing. I know a lot of times people are listening to or doing this or that in the kitchen or cleaning or whatever as they're listening to the broadcast, whether you listen to it live or later in the week. Stop for a moment, just a few minutes, and sit down. Or if you want, if it's comfortable for you, telling you how to meditate. Meditation can be a very personal thing, but at the very least, stop. And I suggest you sit down. I suggest you put your feet on the floor, or maybe put them in cross-legged, if you'd like. And then slowly close your eyes. Perhaps put them at a soft focus, if you'd like. And take a deep breath as our music begins. Deep breath in, slowly through your nose. Hold it, 3, 2, 1, and then let it out. Take a deep breath again, in through your nose. Hold it, 3, 2, 1, and let it out. Know that we are stepping into a sacred space at this moment. And in this sacred space, the power and presence of the universe is something we become more aware and awake to. The sacred space needs no altar, needs nothing but your mind, your open mind and heart. Now, with your eyes closed, you're going to begin to connect with your inner world of thought and feeling. And gradually, the external world will fade from your awareness. Give yourself permission to enjoy this relaxing experience. You're free from all your responsibilities at this time, so just put aside any thoughts of tasks or concerns that may be waiting for you. And if you find your mind wandering during this meditation, it's okay. Simply bring your awareness back to the sound of my voice, the music in the background. If your eyes are at a soft focus, you may notice the moving mandala on the screen. And I will guide you to a place of deep relaxation, inner stillness. Take another deep breath with me. Hold it, 3, 2, 1. And then release that breath slowly. It's so calming to breathe this way. I want you to notice the feelings of relaxation that are beginning to spread throughout your whole body. And why is that? It's not just the breathing, it's your declaration to relax. Allow the energies from Mother Earth to rise up through your feet, up your legs, around to the base of your spine. Feel that tingling, that vibration, power and love of this planet. And then from the base of your spine, allow that energy to return as you ground yourself to this planet purposefully, intentionally, with love. Power of this planet is yours. Feel that circulation of energy flowing from the bottom of your feet, up your legs, to the base of your spine, down that grounding cord, whatever it looks like, back to the center of Earth. Then allow from above you and around you the energy of the cosmos, this cosmic energy, this singularity, this light enter you. Even though it is all around you, it enters from the top of your head, it spreads. This light, this energy, this love from the universe, allow it to slowly stream down your face, past your ears, your neck, flowing onto your shoulders, down your arms, connecting to your heart, the center of your connection, your communion with the universe. And then, like the rays of the sun, allow it to warm you, connect to all the energy centers of your body as it reaches the base of your spine and connects with the energy of the mother. With each breath you take, your thoughts become lighter. Feeling of spaciousness opens up inside you. Just allow the gentle movement of your breath to guide you into an even more relaxed state. In and out. The deeper you go, as these energies embrace you, support you. In and out. Allowing your mind to gradually slow in and out. As I speak, just allow these images to form in your mind naturally. In your own time, of course. If mental pictures don't come easily to you, then simply sense your imagined surroundings rather than seeing them. That's okay. Let go of all your expectations and allow yourself to experience this guided journey in whatever way comes naturally to you. Let's imagine that you are standing in a beautiful grassy field. You can feel the warmth of the sun on your face, on your body. You can feel the lush green grass soft beneath your bare feet. You can hear the sounds of nature around you. The buzzing of the bees, the wind through the trees. You're very much at home in this peaceful place, and you have all the time in the world. You feel safe and happy here. Take a moment to appreciate your surroundings. The smells, the textures, the sounds, the sights. In fact, you notice a large tree growing nearby. Go ahead and begin to walk towards that tree. Take your time. Be in the moment and experience each step. As you walk, feel yourself slipping even more deeply to a state of total relaxation. Now you stand beneath the tree. Its strong branches and broad leaves hang right over your head. Notice that the tree is covered in delicious fruits of many shapes, sizes, and colors. For this is no ordinary tree. Its fruits contain special powers. Reach up and take a piece of a fruit from the tree. Look at it, study it for a moment. Notice the color, the texture, the weight of it in your hand. And now in this silence, take a bite. Go ahead, take a bite. As the fruit slides down your throat and into your stomach, something wonderful begins to happen. A feeling of happiness begins to glow deep inside you. Feel it, sense it, experience it. The sensation begins in your stomach, but then it spreads to your chest, to your heart. Let go of thinking, concentrate on feeling. Nurture the sensation of happiness and love, and feel yourself gently glowing with it. Go ahead. Take another bite of the fruit now. Taste it. Savor it. And now the wonderful feeling intensifies a little more, and a little more, and a little more. Feel yourself gently radiating this pleasant sensation of love and happiness. Feel it. Experience it. Be it. Now take a third bite of the fruit. Take as much as you want. Hear the crunch. Taste the sweetness of the juices and flesh, and smell the joyous mixture of the fruit you hold and the fresh, pristine air that surrounds you. I'm going to allow you a minute or two to hang out with this feeling, this freshness, this fruit, this power, this love, this light. And I'll leave you with a quote from Michael Singer's book, The Untethered Soul, to echo through you as you sit in your experience under the tree. He wrote, God is an experience. It's not a study, an essay, or an argument. Either you are inundated with it or you are not. God is as real as someone touching your hand. That's how much you can feel spirit inside you. It is as real as the beating of your heart. You feel it flowing through your being. Take a deep breath and just be. As you hear my fan humming above you, as you hear the sounds of this field you are sitting, just be. And now let's slowly bring ourselves back to your couch, your living room, your porch, wherever you are sitting and listening to this. Take a deep breath, hold it, let it out through your mouth. Wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, and slowly open your eyes and come back. I picked this guided meditation especially for today, and we may do one or two more this month, because we're going to talk about imagination all month, because that is where you harvest, how you harvest that which you have decided to manifest. And now we're going to do our affirmative incantation for the week. Remember, this is something you say all week. You can say it as many times as you'd like, actually, but I suggest at the very least you do it twice a day, once in the morning, right when you wake up, and once before you go to sleep. Let this be the first thing you think about as you wake up in the morning, and the last thing that you put into your mind as you go to sleep to refresh not only your body, but your mind. Putting this idea into your mind as you go into your sleep mode tells a new story into your subconscious about who you are, about what you have decided to be. And it allows that to sink in much easier than just trying to pound it into your head. Just let it be. Take your time. It takes 2 to 5 minutes maybe. Read it slowly and let it sink in. So here's our affirmative incantation for this week. I vibrate at the speed of the divine. My frequency connects with the ultimate, infinite possibilities and opportunities the universe has to offer. As I sit in my power-filled true self, I speak from the point of change and choose to harness my magnificence and declare this sacred space my future. I forgive all and heal my grateful self as I release the old and am nourished by the new and the now. I am blessed by the light, the love, the calm, the grace, and the creative power of spirit. Let us know together right here and now as we step into a spiritual mind treatment and affirmative prayer. You can close your eyes if you'd like and know that there is one mind, there is one power. We call it spirit. We call it by many names. But what we know is that it reveals itself, its creative power in each and every one of us right here and now. And nothing can change that. And so we step into this awareness and awaken ourselves to this creative power that we are, that we have, that we can be each and every moment of our lives. And like a magnet, we now attract into our lives that which we have decided to experience, to have, to declare, to reveal, whatever that may be. In your finances, in relationships, in creative work, in our body temple, wherever that is, that idea is declared and revealed through this creative power that we reveal, this divinity that we reveal right here, right now. And with that affirmation, appreciation and gratitude comes in the reception of that which we have decided to experience. It is here right now. And we release our word from the physical to the metaphysical. As together we say, and so it is. So like I said, this month, the theme is harvesting. I'm going to start out with a quote from, well, you'll see. You'll recognize it probably. If you want to view paradise, simply look around and view it. Anything you want to, do it. Want to change the world? There's nothing to it. Like I said, you might recognize those words from the song, from the movie Willy Wonka, Pure Imagination is the name of the song. And that was written by, the song was written by Anthony Newley and Leslie Bricusse. However, Neville Goddard, who we shall talk a lot about in this month of harvesting, Neville Goddard could have written that lyric. I'll tell you a little bit about this gentleman, Neville Lancelot Goddard. He was born in Barbados, February 1905, and he died in West Hollywood, California in 1972. He's generally known as Neville. And when he was 15, he moved to New York from Barbados, where for at least 10 years he was a dancer in Broadway shows and vaudeville and nightclubs, and toured a little bit in Europe as a dancer. In 1931, he began to study under an Ethiopian rabbi named Abdullah, who introduced him to the Kabbalah, both in the mystical sense of the Kabbalah, the spiritual sense, as well as the religious sense of Judaism. Neville was also influenced by the poet William Blake. Now, William Blake was a big influence on a lot of people. Walt Whitman, his fellow poets, William Butler Yeats, Allen Ginsberg, E. Cummings, Pablo Neruda was a big William Blake fan. Also, if you look deeply, you'll find it: Bob Dylan, John Lennon, Paul McCartney, Jim Morrison, Mick Jagger, Keith Richards, Patti Smith, Chris Christopherson, Joan Baez, Joni Mitchell, Bruce Springsteen, Bono. All of these people have talked about being influenced, as well as Neville was, by the poet William Blake. Oh, and also a guy named Ernest Holmes was a big fan of William Blake. Neville was also influenced, other than by Abdullah and William Blake, by the psychologist Emile Coué, who was the author of the book Self-Mastery Through Autosuggestion. Neville himself wrote 9 books, I believe, and you can find his lectures and recordings all over on the internet if you'd like to hear him. This guy was a mystic who used the Bible more as a teacher, as a teaching, as a something to teach from versus a history. He didn't believe in it as a history. And he's also considered one of the pioneers of the laws of assumption, the laws of attraction, the law of manifestation. He really pushed those forward, especially the law of assumption, which he referred to a lot. When anyone talks to you, including me, about using imagination and feeling as the bridge from the physical act, meaning meditation, any spiritual practice, affirmative prayer, visualization, any of that, the physical act, speaking your word into the universe, to the metaphysical act, that is the bridge in manifesting. This use of imagination and feeling. If you use any of that, you're getting this through either Neville or lovers of Neville, such as Wayne Dyer. Wayne Dyer was a big Neville fan. Joseph Murphy, Carlos Castaneda, and Rhonda Byrne, who of The Secret. She was a big Neville fan. So you're probably getting it at least from one of these people, if not from me and others. In fact, Neville tells a story about how the power of using imagination and feeling was taught to him. See, he was eager to go to Barbados to visit family, but he didn't have the money. He was an artist, his money was from gig to gig. And his teacher, Abdullah, told him, live as though you are there and that you shall be. So wandering the streets of New York City, Neville thought from his aim, as he would later urge his listeners to do, thought from his aim. And he adopted the feeling that he was really and truly at home on his native island. Neville once wrote, Abdullah taught me the importance of remaining faithful to an idea and not compromising. I wavered, Neville said, but he remained faithful to the assumption that I was in Barbados and had traveled first class. Yeah. And on a December morning before the last ship was to depart New York that year for Barbados, Neville received a letter from a long out-of-touch brother. And in it was $50 and a ticket to sail. His experiment, it seemed, had worked. Neville discovered what eventually became the hallmark of his philosophy. It's interesting, I read a little bit about when he really started pushing this idea, or teaching this idea of imagination and feeling. Some of his followers, some of the people who came to his classes and his lectures, kind of were missing the whole Bible stuff. But this idea also came out of the Bible. He discovered that it was imperative to assume the feeling that one's goal has already been attained. It's not what you want that you attract, he wrote. You attract what you believe to be true. Imagination, my friends, is essential in the art of manifestation. Dr. Jean Houston, one of our most visionary thinkers and doers of our time in the human potential field, recalls the story of her childhood. And she said, back when I was 8 years old, I was attending a school in Manhattan where they felt it was a good idea for students to meet some of the great elders of the time. And fortunately for her, one of the elders that she met was Albert Einstein. And one day they trotted across the river over to Princeton University to his house there. And she remembers that he had a lot of hair and was very sweet. But one of her smart alecky classmates said to him, Mr. Einstein, how can we get to be as smart as you? And he said, read fairy tales. And all the kids looked at each other and it made no sense to us. What do you mean read fairy tales? How does that make you smart? So then another smart alecky kid said, Mr. Einstein, how can we get to be smarter than you? And he said, read more fairy tales. Imagination, my friends, is essential in the art of manifestation. Now, some say that imagination is a childish act. In fact, you can find in 1 Corinthians, when I was a child, I spoke as a child, I understood as a child, I thought as a child. But when I became a man, I put away childish things. Now, that may or may not be true for you, but either way, we must never, ever put away childlike things. For as Mr. Einstein also wrote, imagination is more important than knowledge. Albert Einstein said imagination is more important than knowledge, for knowledge is limited, whereas imagination embraces the entire world, stimulating progress, giving birth to evolution. And I would say embraces the entire universe, not just the world. Now, some may decry this imagination idea with something like, hey, I deal with facts. I deal with facts, not fantasy, delusion, or hallucination. Well, imagination may not be a fact, as most people would define that word, but it is a precursor to one. In fact, Professor Finlay Morrison of the School of Chemistry at the University of St. Andrews in Scotland wrote this: life itself is an activity of imagining. The world originates in a divine activity identical with what we know ourselves as the activity of imagination. The task being to open the immortal eyes of man inward into the worlds of thought, into eternity, ever expanding in the bosom of God, the human imagination. Reality is not stable or immutable. It is an endless becoming. And only by imaginatively projecting yourself into that flux, giving yourself up to it, could you ever discover what it really is. Imagination, it's not something we see in our present circumstance out there, though that may be an influence. It's something found in our upcoming circumstance, that which comes from within. Imagination, it's reflective, like contemplation. It's a spiritual practice, like prayer or meditation. Imagination is about visualizing the end result and how you feel about it, envisioning is the best word, envisioning the experience in all ways, except, of course, how you get there. That's the universe's job. My friends, imagination is essential in the art of manifestation. Now, you may say, hey, well, I'm a left brain person, logical, analytical, objective intelligence is my game. But remember, research was found in the early mid-2000s that the idea of this left-right brain dominant stuff is false. In fact, Christopher Berglund in Psychology Today wrote, researchers measured the participants' brain activity with functional MRI and found a cortical and subcortical network over a large part of the brain was responsible for their imagery manipulations. The network closely resembles the mental workshop that scholars have theorized might be responsible for much of human conscious experience and for the flexible cognitive abilities that humans have evolved over millennia. Imagination, my friends, is essential in the art of manifestation, in the art of discovery, in the art of bringing forth into life new ideas. I know it pushes you, it pushes me sometimes to unlearn what you've been told, to ask different questions so that you can receive new and better answers and grow beyond who you thought you were. It's that solution mechanism in crisis management, experimentation, and hypothesizing idea. But we can use that through our imagination and the feelings behind the experience we are imagining to bring forth into our experience that which we are imagining. Now, others may say, it's bad enough I have to dream other than waste time daydreaming. But remember what Shakespeare wrote in The Tempest. We are such stuff as dreams are made on. Carl Jung emphasized the importance of dreams to the unconscious mind. In fact, The Sewing Machine, the songs Yesterday and Satisfaction, The Theory of Relativity, Mary Shelley's novel Frankenstein, the scientific method created by René Descartes, the double helix structure of DNA, all of those were imagined in a dream state before they were made into a reality. Now, I'm not asking you to dream or just daydream, though that's a first step imaginative practice. I'm asking you to use your creativity. I want to quote the oh-so-logical mystic judge Thomas Troward here. He wrote, now what we require to see is the creative process has only one way of working, and that is by reciprocity or reflection, or as we might say, by the law of reaction and action. The action always being equivalent and correspondent to the action which generated it. The action is imagination. The action is holding on and being with and experiencing the feeling of that imaginative state. The action comes in a full-on state of mind. We take a deep dive into infinite possibilities, envisioning our next adventure right here and right now. Imagination is the icing on the cake of demonstration. It is the language of the eureka or aha moment. Our brain, my friends, is a dynamic workplace. All 3 pounds, 100 billion neurons, and 100 trillion connections of it. And we use the physical nature of this organ to reach into our consciousness, which then taps into the metaphysical nature of the universe. And in that connection, in that transformation, in that transcendence, the law of correspondence, the law of attraction, the law of cause and effect knows exactly what it needs to bring forth into your life. It'll figure out the how. Neurobiology tells us about several ways to inspire our imagination, and I just have a few right here today. One, of course, is exercise. Exercise in all ways, your body, your mind. Ralph Waldo Emerson said of Thoreau, the length of his walk uniformly made the length of his writing. If shut up in the house, he did not write at all. Henry Miller was an avid endurance cyclist, and he wrote, most writing is done away from the typewriter, away from the desk. I'd say it occurs in the quiet, silent moments while you're walking or shaving or playing a game or whatever. You're working. Your mind is working on this problem in the back of your head. So when you get back to the machine, it's a mere matter of transfer. It's imagination working. I'm imagining these words, these ideas, these scenes. Joyce Carol Oates, who's a devoted runner, wrote, running seems to allow me ideally an expanded consciousness in which I can envision what I'm writing as a film or a dream. I rarely invent at the typewriter, but recall what I've experienced. You don't have to be in the creative world to do this, as far as a writer or a performer or any of that. You are in the creative world because that's how the universe knows what it is you want, because it is what you believe you have decided to have, that the universe then can manifest it, do whatever it needs to do to manifest it into your life. Number 2, learn to relax and give yourself permission to imagine. I get it. We lose the habit of imagining. But some of the most notable people in the world, such as the previously spoke of Albert Einstein, Sir Isaac Newton, many, all these other singers and performers, they came up with their best ideas when they weren't actively trying to think of them. When they just allowed their mind to wander as well as wonder. W-A as well as W-O. Imagination is the key. Number 3, challenge perception. Visual perception is 80% memory and 20% input from your eyes. Look without your eyes and see with your other senses. Christopher Berger, who was the lead author of a study at Sweden's Karolinska Institute, published in the scientific journal Current Biology, he wrote this. What this study shows is that our imagination of a sound or a shape changes how we perceive the world around us in the same way actually hearing that sound or seeing that shape does. And as an aside, remember, your brain doesn't know the difference between what you are imagining and what you are truly seeing. It will react in a similar way. Continuing with the good doctor here. Specifically, we found that what we imagine hearing can change what we actually see, and what we imagine seeing can change what we actually hear. Number 4, voice it. Sing, share, tell a story, read a fairy tale out loud, and listen. Voice is connected to emotion, and emotion is connected to the imagination, and all are connected to the power of manifestation. That's why when I talk about the affirmative incantations I write every week, I tell you to say it out loud. Don't just say it in your head. Say it out loud. Connect. And if you'd like, write it as you are saying it. That's a connection that is very intense and very deep. Here's a great game to play to get into imagination. It's called the telephone conversation game. And so you want to get in a relaxed frame of mind, and you want to fondly imagine that you've received a phone call from a certain person. You can pick someone who you wouldn't mind terribly whether or not they called you. And using your mind's ears, hear them over the phone, hear their voice, their laugh. You know how this person sounds. But feel the sensation as the voice hits your ears from the phone or your phone's earpiece. And with your mind's fingers, feel the weight. Feel the weight of that phone in your hand. It doesn't weigh a whole lot probably, but feel it. Hold it against your head like this. Be a part of it. Be in the experience. If you're using an earpiece of some kind instead, just feel the sensation of the piece in your ear. And let that voice fill your head and feel in your head. And with your mind's voice, respond to this person. Do this for about a minute. Just have a nice little conversation with somebody you'd like to talk to that maybe you haven't talked to in a while. And enjoy that conversation how you would like it to be. Imagine it. Just for a minute or so. Then let it go. Go about your day. That will start you down the path of imagination. And imagination is a key part of manifestation. Neville wrote, in fact, imagination is a spiritual sensation. Enter the image of the wish fulfilled that giveth sensory vividness and tones of reality by mentally acting as you would act were it a physical fact. Change your perspective. Remember what I say, change your perspective or your perception, you change your life. Imagine it. Imagine being in that situation. Life, like Leif Erikson, whose day is today. It's Leif Erikson Day. Happy Leif Erikson Day. He's probably the first, if not one of the first people to come to the area now known as North America, way before anybody else, as the Vikings did. Imagination, like exploration, is important. Imagination is exploration. It takes a little bit of sacrifice, it takes responsibility, it takes nurturing, it takes devotion to have imagination, as it does when you explore the world. Embracing the wisdom of raising your happiness to manifesting your future. That happens in both imagination and exploring the world. Sacrificing old ideas to devote ourselves to a journey of thoughts and feelings and beliefs that transform prosperous ideas into our experience. That happens both in imagination and exploring the world. You have to sacrifice the old ideas that you can't get there. And for us now, it's someplace like Mars or another planet. We have to expand our imagination to figure out the ways to get there. Last week, many people celebrated the life of St. Francis of Assisi. And he said, while you are proclaiming peace with your lips, be careful to have it even more fully in your heart. Have it fully in your heart. Imagination is a heart-centered activity as well. Imagination frees you from the bondage of that obnoxious, loud shadow voice called lack, limitation, disease, and not enoughness. That's old voices. That's old stories. Tell it a new thing. Imagine a new way. That is the way you get there. But as St. Francis also reminds us, a single sunbeam is enough to drive away many shadows. And that single sunbeam is your imagination. That's how you start. In affirmative prayer, you're using your imagination to speak your word, to reveal and declare what it is you have decided to have in your life. Imagination is that single sunbeam there for you to play with, transcend, make believe into do believe. You transcend make believe into do believe. And it's there, imagination, it's there to give birth to the evolution, the revolution, the resolution, and the distribution of your greatest life, whatever you have decided that is. Also, today we are celebrating the 7-day feast festival called Sukkot or Sukkot. It's a Jewish festival. The holiday commemorates the 40 years the Hebrews spent in the desert on their way to the Promised Land after escaping the slavery in Egypt. And it's also the celebration of the fall harvest and the idea that if you have faith, blessings will appear. And if you don't have faith right now, use your imagination and the feeling that you would have in the experience to bring forth that faith, to increase that faith, to transform and transcend what it is you are believing now into the faith of knowing that you are having the experience you've decided to declare right now. Sukkot is a holiday of feast. So feast upon your decisions, feast upon your declarations, feast upon the revelation of the divine creative powers within you right now. And you can reveal your next experience by imagining and feeling it right here. Right here. You don't have to go anywhere special. Feast upon the image, vision, and feeling of having that experience right now. Plant the seed and make the call. The universe is waiting. The law is listening. Have a feast and watch the miracles appear. Thank you so much. Namaste.
Let us place our hands on our hearts and together declare our love offering blessing. Divine love consecrates my gift. It goes forth to heal, prosper, and bless. It is evidence of my conviction that God is the source and substance of my supply. I joyously contribute to the vision of my spiritual center, knowing that it returns to me multiplied abundantly. And so it is. Amen. Hallelujah. Thank you for your blessed love offerings.
Skip the next couple of videos because I want to get to our final song on the broadcast this morning. But just remember, we're on social media everywhere. Just find us or find me. And we appreciate you liking and supporting us on social media as well. My book is available on Amazon called The Affirmation Revolution. If you like these affirmative incantations, if you like this philosophy, get that book. It'll help you out. It'll change your perspective and thus change your life. So we're going to close after we do an affirmative prayer, spiritual mind treatment. We're going to close our broadcast with a John Lennon song. It's John Lennon. It would be John Lennon's birthday today, or I guess it is John Lennon's birthday today. He doesn't have to be alive to celebrate his birthday. He can celebrate it anywhere in the universe or in any dimension that he wants to be in now. John Lennon's birthday is today. He wrote many, of course, great songs. And this probably could be his most famous, most popular most meaningful song. And that is the song Imagine. And we're going to show right after our spiritual mind treatment the version of Imagine that was made by UNICEF, the UNICEF organization. It's a very nice version, and I know you'll enjoy that. Imagine, imagine. Let us close our eyes. If it's comfortable for you, you don't have to. Even at a soft focus, know that there is one power in this universe, and you can call it God, you can call it Phil, you can call it John Lennon if you want. It doesn't care and it doesn't matter. Just know that this power, this creative power, this singularity, you may call it the Big Bang, for that's what it is, this energy of love and grace and peace. It exists not only out there, but most importantly in each and every one of us. It individualizes itself. It reveals itself and its creative power in you, in me, right here and right now. And as we accept this fact and we accept this truth, we reveal in our lives, using our imagination and the feeling behind the experience of that imagination. Use that as our great tool to manifest into our lives, to attract like a magnet that which we have decided to have. And each of us in our minds, in our own ways, maybe out loud, speaks this declaration right now. Take a moment. See it. See that experience. Can you see yourself there? Whatever it is. Can you hear the I love yous? Can you see the larger numbers in your checkbook? Can you feel the respect at work? The diagnosis and prognosis being positive and optimal as far as your body temple. Can you see that? Feel it. What does that feel like? Feels good, feels positive. Allow it to feel real. Then do that over and over again. See it and feel it. Use your imaginations. That is what we are doing right now. We are manifesting through the creative power that each of us has and reveals right here and right now. And so with appreciation and gratitude, I release this word in from the physical to the metaphysical of my abilities, of your abilities to manifest this idea right here, right now. The universe says yes, the universe listens, and we know it. As together we say, and so it is, hallelujah, abracadabra, amen, omain, om shanti, shanti, shanti. Blessings to you, my friends, blessings in your mind, your body, your life. We'll see you next week. Thank you so much. Namaste.
Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try. No hell below us. Above us only sky. Imagine all the people living for today. Imagine there's no countries. It isn't hard to do. Nothing to kill or die for. the only one.
And I hope someday
Someday that you will
join us.
join us, and the world will be at war. Imagine no possessions. I wonder if you can.
no need for greed or hunger.
Brotherhood of men. Hey,
Imagine all the people
sharing all the world. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one.
I hope someday you will join us.
You will join